intermediaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. It's Health and Wellness Monday, and our topic for today is steps to advocating with purpose. We are live on Intellectual Radio. We just heard from the Drive at 5 with Roman. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, I spoke with Dr. Chalice Rose, and she talked about prioritizing minority mental health. You can head on over to YouTube and type in Intellectual Radio and stay connected for any episodes you may have missed. The quote of the day is that's not right, not fair, not just. You have to speak up, you have to say something, you have to do something. That quote is from John Lewis. And here is your trending topic for today. Courtesy of Chicago CBS News. According to dispatch recordings, a ShotSpotter sensor alerted police to the shooting that killed Chicago police officer Louis Huesca nearly 5 minutes before the first 911 caller early Sunday morning. Mayor Brandon Johnson on Monday was asked repeatedly about the revelation and his plan to scrap HotSpotter's technology. The first sign that Officer Huesca was in trouble came in at 2:53 a.m. Sunday in the form of a ShotSpotter alert for 4 rounds fired at 5501 South Kedzie Avenue. It was not for 4 minutes and 50 seconds that the 911 caller picked up the phone reporting a man on the ground about a block away at 3135 West 56th Street. Police arrived on the scene sooner than they would have if they waited for the call. Our police department has the tools they need to help them build a better, stronger, and safer Chicago, according to Mayor Johnson. His office negotiated a contract extension through September 22nd of this year, followed by a 2-month phasing out period before the technology is completely shut down. Chicago Police Department has long maintained that the ShotSpotter is a critical tool. That is your trending topic for today. If you are on any form of social media, do me a favor, like the show, share the show, invite someone else in on the show that you feel may benefit from this valuable information. Our topic again is steps to advocating with purpose. Let's just jump right into the conversation and talk about what advocacy is. And I think all of us at some point in time in our lives have fallen under the advocacy title. So advocacy is the process of educating and persuading people to support an issue. So why do people advocate? Advocacy is actually a powerful tool for change, enabling individuals and communities to adjust, rectify injustice. If you know something, change it. A lot of people sit back and they complain and say, this is happening, that is happening, but a lot of people, those people normally don't take action. So if you don't like something, then change it. If you can't change it, according to Maya Angelou, then change your attitude. But stop complaining about it and bring solutions. And if you see somebody out there advocating, already fighting, jump right in on the fight or start up your own advocacy program and stop complaining. So step 1 on steps to advocating with a purpose is define your advocacy goal. What do you want to advocate about? All of us have passions, something that may be keeping us up at night that we can't sleep, or something that we're constantly talking about, or every time you around somebody, you're bringing it up in a conversation, or those people know you because of that particular issue that you always talking about. And I guess for me, that would probably be breast cancer. So instead of just talking about it and complaining about it, I decided to do something about it. So decide what it is that you want to do when it comes to your advocacy goal or your advocacy vision. And there's different types of advocacy that you can do. You don't necessarily have to be out in front advocating. Hey, Angela. Advocating, you can be in the background and advocate. You can help people actually set up their advocacy programs. You could just be the person in the background making sure that all of the links come together. So, one way that you can advocate would be to have an educational advocacy goal to where you are informing people about a cause. So, if you can do workshops, you can do webinars, you can host informational sessions in your community about something that you're passionate about, that you feel that everybody should know about, or you feel like there should be some type of action that should be taken, and you want to maybe inform the community or bring more people in on it, then you will hold an informational session and say, hey, this is what's happening. This is what needs to be done. And then it opens other people's eyes, and then those people will hopefully join in with you. And another way you can advocate is financial goals. We see a lot of people out here or organizations that are raising money. We see a lot of fundraisers on Facebook or on our social medias. We get emails, we get text messages asking us to participate in fundraisers. They're raising money for some sort of cause that they're passionate about. And before you give money, you're going to ask, where's this money going, right? So they're going to have to tell you about whatever it is that they're raising that money for in order to get you to reach in your pocket. So if you don't want to do the educational advocacy, then you can do the financial advocacy to where you're raising money for a good cause. You can also do activity advocacy, which is you encouraging people to carry out some sort of activity for a cause. And for a lot of us, it could be doing the cancer walks. You can join in on the cancer walks. You donate money, you get a team, and you raise money for whatever cause it is. And you don't really have to do much, but just show up on the day that you have to do the activity. Hey, Lisa, thank you for tuning in. So if you don't want to do the educational or the financial advocacy, then if someone is having an event to where you can participate in, then show up at the event, encourage other people to show up with you. You can also do political advocacy where you create new laws for a cause. And if it's something that's happening in your community and you feel like, people are being treated unfairly, and you get together with some people and you decide that you want to create a law. So you have to make sure that first of all you're following the right steps, and you are talking to your congressmen and women to get them to agree that yeah, it should be, so that when it goes to the floor they'll vote on it. So there's so many things that we can do if we want to advocate. You don't necessarily have to be out in the streets with posters, walking up and down the street. There's things that you could do that's in the background. You advocating for policies. You could be advocating, if you use breast cancer as an example, you could be advocating for access to screenings for people, treatment, support services, regardless of where they live. They should be able to have you know treatment that would be able to extend their lives. We shouldn't have to have different There shouldn't be different treatment regimens in your zip code. And we know that your zip code matters, right? Your zip code is a matter of life or death. So depending on where you live, you may not get the same treatment as someone who lives in a different zip code where they're paying higher taxes, the income is higher. So people pay attention to the zip codes. So step number 2 would be for you to educate yourself on whatever it is that you're trying to advocate about, right? So because you're going to have to explain it to other people, and you're going to have to convince them, persuade them to join in, sign, and also share your message with other people. So the first thing you need to do is educate yourself on whatever it is that you're trying to get other people to join in with you. And then once you can, and you have to have a clear concise message. So whatever your why is, tell them what the why is. And then whatever your ask is, make sure that it's a clear ask and they know exactly what it is that you're asking for. People, trust me, when they're going in their pockets or if they feel like they're going out on a limb for you, they want to understand why, like, what's going on? Why am I doing this? Why am I signing this? Why am I giving you this money? So you have to be able to explain it to them in a way to persuade them to say, oh, yes, I'll go ahead and I'll join in with you. Number 3 is you want to recruit other advocates to join in with you because there's strength in numbers and you should not have to do it by yourself. So you talk to other advocates that may feel strong about, the passion that you have, whether it be breast cancer, domestic violence, or it could be lupus or MS, whatever it is. It could be something, in the neighborhood that has to do with kids. Whatever it is, you get other like-minded people to join in on that conversation with you so that they can help push your cause further, right? Because there's strength in numbers. And then I heard this saying, it's the African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So definitely, if you want to go far, you bring more people in with you, people that sometimes we have our strengths and we have our weaknesses, and you bring people in to kind of cover those weaknesses, and you have the strengths and y'all kind of like link together on what it is that you need to do. You have people that can cover you, and then you won't have to do everything all by yourself. So make sure you talk to some people that shares the same passion as you, and they're going to get out there and put in the same time and push the agenda further. Number 4 is partnerships, collaborations, and community building. So you have to make sure that you are partnering with organizations and businesses in the community, especially if you're trying to get individuals or something changed in the community, or just to get individuals to be on the same page as you so that you can push the agenda further. You're going to have to get out in the community. You're going to have to talk to some healthcare providers, some policymakers, stakeholders in the community to broaden your reach, right? Because you want to maximize your impact on getting your message out. So you're going to have to make sure that you are able to, again, convey that message that will be able to draw people in, because when you draw those people in, they'll draw other people in, right? If somebody has influence and they see that this is a good idea, this is a good idea, then all you have to do is say, hey, do you know anybody that you could recommend that we can contact, and they'll, if they are really in on what you're doing, they will recommend people. So don't be afraid to ask. And number 5 is promote self-advocacy. And this one is so important because a lot of times people may be afraid to speak up for themselves. And if you're out here promoting something and you're not advocating for yourself, when you go to the doctor or when you're at work, I find it very hard that you can advocate for something else. Normally, people that are advocating or speaking up about things, they are not allowing people to kind of like run over them or dismiss them. So promote self-advocacy, encourage other individuals as well to speak up about themselves. Um, I tell people when they get a cancer diagnosis, get a second opinion. Always get a second opinion. Even if they give you the same information that they gave the other person, who cares? They gave, if the other health provider gave you the same information that you got from the second opinion, okay, that's fine. You want to have a peace of mind moving forward with whatever you have to do when it comes to treatment. So I would just encourage you, if you've ever gotten a cancer diagnosis, always get a second opinion so that when you're making your decision, you know, you're making it with a peace of mind, with confidence, knowing that you did everything that you can. So promote self-advocacy when you go to the doctor and something doesn't sit right with you, and ask questions. and change doctors if you have to, if they're not listening to you, especially for individuals who are like women who may be younger and may be concerned about breast cancer, but they're not at that age to where they have to be screened. Then, sometimes if you have breast cancer in your family, you may can use that so that they can, get you screened. You may have to advocate for yourself to get screened, or go somewhere else because they won't listen to you and they may push you off when you're telling them, hey, Wit, thank you for tuning in. When you're telling them that, hey, I see something, I feel something, and I feel like I should be screened. You're going to have to speak up for yourself, or again, change healthcare providers, because the last thing you want to do is to be like, oh, okay, since they didn't say any, since they're not going to refer me anywhere, then you're just going to dismiss it, right? And that's your health. And time may be of the essence. We know that women are being diagnosed younger and younger when it comes to breast cancer. And normally, when they're diagnosed younger, it's in the later stages. So if they're telling you, oh no, you're not old enough to get a mammogram. You don't qualify now. You have to wait. No, advocate for yourself. Call the insurance company. Um, Switch doctors. Get a doctor to advocate for you. um, they have programs out here that would pay for a mammogram, so it won't even, if they won't pay for it, it won't be coming out of your pocket. I know Equal Hope is one of them. So just make sure that you're advocating for yourself when you go to the doctor. Write questions down and sit the questions in front of the doctor, and you don't have to say anything. Put the burden back on the doctor to answer those questions for you. But don't walk away and allow them to just kind of like shut you down. Get your questions answered so that you know that you did everything that you could have for your health. Don't allow them to do that. Hey, Frankie. Number 6 is utilize your social media, right? When it comes to steps for advocating with a purpose, using social media is probably one of the best things that you can do. There's so many different outlets that we can use. You have YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Um, there's so many of them that we can use. Twitter, but they call it X now, that you can use and get your message out to the masses, to where you're really not posting every single day. They have programs out here where you can put the information in there and put the dates as to when you want it to be posted, but you can post on a consistent basis. You don't have to necessarily contact the media and be like, hey, can y'all come out here and cover this story? You know, no, you could go live from your own page, from your own social media, and you can get the message out to the masses yourself. So I would say utilize your social media to raise awareness, to share stories, whatever it is that you're going to advocate about. You know, social media is probably one of the best things that you can use to advocate, and it's free. You don't have to pay anything, right? It's a free outlet that you can use to get your message out and recruit other people in with you. So number 7, the step that to advocating with a purpose is make sure that your presentation skills is on point. Because again, if you have to relay this message to someone, if an organization calls you and say, hey, we want you to come and present, the message that you're advocating for to our organization, to our CEO, you know um, to our board, you have to make sure that your message is on point, right? That your presentation skills is on point. And, some people may not want to do public speaking. So, and that's why you recruit people and you have different people in within that circle that can do different things. And that way you don't have to do everything yourself. So you may have someone that may be good at speaking. You may have someone that may be good at writing. You may have someone that may be good at the social media. So, you get those people to do those things, and whoever it is that's good at doing the presentations and they're able to go out and speak to the people and draw other people in, then you use that person or those people to do those things to make sure, again, that your message is clear, it's concise, and you're able to persuade individuals to buy into your vision, to whatever it is that you're advocating for. Number 8, hone in on your writing skills. Sometimes it may not be an opportunity where you have to speak. They may want you to write it down, send it to us in writing exactly what you're asking for. And you have to be able to make sure you have someone that's able to effectively communicate that message in writing. And it's not like a lot of jargon to where, you can't even read it. You know how you go to the doctor and they have you sign some stuff and you trying to read it and you don't understand none of it, but we just sign it, right? You want it to sound professional, and you want it to be clear enough for them to say, oh, I get it, I understand. um, you find somebody who's able to write it, and and don't be just using AI either. I mean, AI is a cool tool to use for, like, if you need an outline for something. But don't use it all the time, because then you become lazy and then you're not going to want to write stuff yourself. So, make sure you have somebody that's able to do it, that's able to um, write out whatever it is that you're trying to convey, your proposal to the individual, and get that message across, and do it so they won't have to be reading a 5-10 page proposal. It should be able to, within the first few sentences, they should be able to know exactly what it is that you're trying to do, and then you go and break it down to whatever it is that you're asking for and how it's going to be done. Number 9 steps to advocating with purpose is to capitalize on awareness days. So if the awareness days falls into whatever you're advocating for. So if you're advocating for, let's say, autism, then you find out what month autism is in, and then you advocate and you send your social media friends messages about autism, information, the top 10 things you need to know about autism. Like, you educate them, some things that they may not have known. You just stay on top of awareness. Like with cancer, if it's Cancer Awareness Day or Survivors Day, I make sure that I put information out there so people will know what's going on with breast cancer or what's going on with cancer, so that they know they can come to my page and they can get the updated information as it relates to that subject. They don't have to go searching all over the internet. So mark your calendar and have your information ready to go out to your audience. And number 10, a step to advocating with the purpose is you have to know your target audience. Who are you trying to advocate to? You have to know who that is, because it's not to everybody. Everybody is not going to want to hear your message. So you have to make sure when you're sending your message out, it's being sent to a target audience who's going to buy into your message, who's going to help push your message. And don't get upset when people don't buy into it, because the people that you think will buy into it, they won't. They just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna support you, and then they never do. So don't feel bad about it. You have a target audience that you're going to send your message out, that's going to help you push that message, and you utilize those people. And if the other people come around, fine. If they don't, they don't. But your message is not for everybody. So don't feel bad if they don't help you get your message out. All right, I want to take a quick break, and I want to let y'all know that Warriors Talk will be having our 8th annual Survivor Celebration of Reflection Gala taking place on Saturday, October the 19th at 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. So it's a brunch, and it's going to be at the Crystal Sky Banquets. And I think this is our 3rd year having it at the banquet hall here. And we're going to be celebrating all survivors like we normally do. So the new beginnings comes with the number 8. So I'm looking for survivors to celebrate. We always celebrate survivors. We celebrate those who are in battle. So if you know someone who's in battle and they can use some financial assistance, just to help them bridge the gap financially, then you can email me at warriorstalk1@gmail.com. We're looking to bless a survivor that's in battle, and we're looking to celebrate survivors. So Elisa said yes, she's putting it on her calendar. Yes, Lisa, put it on your calendar. So I'm excited that this is year number 8, and I can't believe that it went by so fast. So um, share the word, save the date, so that you can come out and celebrate with us for number 8. And again, this is the year of new beginnings. So I will be posting more information about that. If you are tuned in on Warriors Talk today, we're live on Intellectual Radio, and we are talking about steps to advocating with a purpose. I wanted to go, yes, Frankie, October 19th. Ooh, and Frankie, I'm about to put you on the spot because I would love for you to come and sing on that day for the survivors. Let me know if you're available to come and sing. You don't have to stay the whole time because I know you're busy, but let me know if you're available to do that. That would be great. So, if you're able to squeeze us in, let me know because that would be awesome. So, I want to talk about a organization where you can advocate if you want to advocate. There are many organizations out there right now. If you want to advocate, you can. So, I want to share this one because this is an organization that I have been advocating with since 2002. No, 22. I found them on the internet, and I was looking for an organization to where I could take my advocacy to the next level. And I'm like, where could I go? What could I do? And so I found an organization which is called the National Breast Cancer Coalition. And they're all about advocacy, action, and policy. They push research, and the goal that they have is ending breast cancer. So I'm like, oh, who wouldn't want that goal, right? And we all want to end breast cancer. So I decided to look more into the organization to find out exactly what they do and how they do it. And I was able to benefit from some of the programs that they have out there. So I just want to share some of these programs with you as it relates to if you want to take your advocacy to the next level. And so if you go to stopbreastcancer.org, that is their website, and you click on the Action Center and then get involved to stop breast cancer. And they have so many ways that you can get involved to stop breast cancer. One of the ways is to become a member. And in order to become a member, all you need to do is you pay $35 in order to become a member, and then it qualifies you to attend trainings. You get a newsletter, and you're able to watch the webinars and training videos. You get the membership newsletter, and then they have like an annual membership for you to sign up, and it's only $35 to join. And it just gives you access to everything that they have going on. Another way that you could get involved is they have it set up to where you can contact your elected officials already about the issues or the priorities that they have set up. So right now, the issues or the priorities that they have that we have been talking to congressmen and women about is metastatic breast cancer. And it's the Metastatic Breast Cancer Access to Care Act, to where we are urging the congressmen and women to waive the 24-month waiting period for those who are dealing with metastatic breast cancer, and the 5-month waiting period for those who need Social Security disability. So statistics say that if you are diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, they give you 3 years to live, right? And we know that survivors are living way beyond those 3 years, but they say 3 years. So if you think about the 3 years that they're waiting, right? And they say 24 months until you get the Medicare. So it's almost like you're waiting to die, because if they're giving you 3 years to live and then you're waiting 2 years for your benefits, that you already qualify for. And they already qualify for these benefits because they already paid into the benefits, through their paychecks. So it's not like, oh, you don't really qualify. They qualify, but they have this 24-month waiting period. And the waiting period was actually put in place to kind of weed out individuals who may have like a reversible issue that they're dealing with, and they stretch it out to the 24 months, hoping that whatever it is you have is reversible, so then you don't need the insurance anymore, but you waited all that time. But for people who are dealing with metastatic breast cancer, there's no cure, there is no reversing this, so they're just waiting. And we know that a lot of them are in treatment to where the treatment is toxic. A lot of them are not able to work. So a lot of them are not even at work, don't have insurance, and they're trying to get by. And for those who are working, they're barely hanging on, going to work because they're trying to keep the insurance that they have. So they can't even afford to not work, which is sad because you can't even afford to allow your body to heal because you're concentrating on, if I don't work, I'm not going to have this insurance. I'm going to have to wait that 24-month waiting period for insurance, especially if you're not married, you don't have a husband that has insurance, and then you're waiting. And so hopefully, um, I was just in Washington about a week ago, and we talked to our senators and we talked to our representatives to urge them to get this passed. And so we're hoping that once it goes to the floor, that these individuals that co-signed, co-sponsored, that they are going to get it passed so that the women and men who are dealing with metastatic breast cancer are able to go through treatment and not have to worry about working, or should they buy medicine, or should they buy food, should they pay their rent, or like that. That's a stressor in itself, and we know that stress with cancer, it could trigger it to where it could have those cells multiplying and dividing all over the place. So this is one way that you can get involved, is talking to your congressmen and women and asking them to co-sponsor, to have the 24-month waiting period and the 5-month waiting period for Social Security disability. You can learn about the National Breast Cancer Coalition. They have their legislative priorities and they also have their public priorities. And one of the legislative priorities is, we were asking for 150 million for the Department of Defense breast cancer research program. And in this program, you have scientists and you have individuals who have been through breast cancer. They are coming together and they are reviewing grant applications of researchers to see if the research that they're proposing is going to be a benefit to the patient. So I had a chance to sit on this peer review twice, and it, it's a 6-week process. And you're going through the grant applications, and then you come together, like you have a 2-day process where you come together with the scientists and you sit around and you discuss the different grant applications to see if it's going to be a benefit, if it's going to be less toxic for the individual that's going through breast cancer. Is it going to help them have a good quality of life, or even extend life, or even cure the breast cancer? So this is a really good program, and it has been going on since 1992, and it was came about because of the National Breast Cancer Coalition and their grassroots advocacy. So if you were a member of the National Breast Cancer Coalition, then this would be something that you would be able to take part in as a breast cancer survivor, because our voice is important when they are considering research. Our voice is important as to what they're doing, how they're doing it, and if it's going to benefit, especially African American women, because we know that a lot of times we're not present in the studies when they're coming up with these different medicines. And that's why a lot of times it doesn't work on us. It's because we're not present. So we want to make sure that whatever they're coming up with, that it's gonna work for everybody and not just for one race of people. And then the next way that you can take action with the National Breast Cancer Coalition or with your advocacy is to become an advocate for change. You can join the Breast Cancer Coalition and be an advocate, and you can attend, again, their webinars, their seminars that they have. And these seminars actually educates the advocates, equip them with information on what they need to know in order to go and talk to your senators, your representatives, and let them know about the research that's being done and about the needs of the individuals who have breast cancer, what it is that they need. So this is one way. If you don't do anything else but just become an advocate and take advantage of, their training, is is amazing because they have scholarships out here. So it's not like you have to. A lot of times you don't have to come out of your pocket. They have scholarships or you can fundraise. So I've taken advantage of the scholarships to where they I paid up front and then they reimbursed me for my flight, my hotel, my Ubers. And this last time I didn't do the scholarships, but I wanted to fundraise and let somebody else take advantage of the scholarship. So I was able to, my goal was $875, and I was able to fundraise and raise all of it. And I went to Washington and I didn't have to worry about anything. It took care of my hotel, it took care of my registration fee. I think my flight was like under $180 round trip, and they fed us, so I didn't have to worry about buying any food or anything like that. We didn't have to worry about transportation because everything was close. Um, so just if you want to just be an advocate and not, participate in anything else, then you've already benefited from this organization greatly. They have the Advocate Leadership Summit, which takes place every May, and this particular summit, it gathers advocates from all over, all over the world, and they come together in Washington, and we learn about the latest scientific research that's going on, and then we learn about different strategies that will help us in our advocacy. And then this particular training, we train, I think we were there from Saturday through Monday. We were in classes the whole time. And then that Tuesday is the day that you go on the Hill and you go and talk to your own senators and representatives, and you see where their head is at as far as when it comes to breast cancer, metastatic breast cancer. What are they doing? What are they supporting? And so the Advocate Leadership Summit is great for individuals, who wants to take their advocacy to the next level and learn about policy, public policy. They also have the Public Policy Academy, where you go for a whole year. You attend monthly meetings and they teach you everything about public policy. They go from Congress 101, the stuff that we learned when we was in school, and they teach you everything so that like, the representatives and the senators, they tell you how many of them it is, when their term is up, how often they're reelected. Like, they teach you all of that so that you're not clueless on any of those things. So when you're going to meet with them, you know, you coming in there equipped. That's the one thing I like about the National Breast Cancer Coalition, is they're going to educate you. So you're not going in clueless. And the next thing that you could do to take your advocacy to the next level is the Project Lead Institute. And I attended this in July of 2022. It's in California. It's a 6-day intensive um, session to where you're learning all about the science of breast cancer. So they have different educators coming in teaching you, and this prepares you to sit down with the scientists and be able to go over those grant applications and offer your opinion about if you feel like this research is going to work. So I would say if you're looking to just talk about or learn about the science of breast cancer, then you would do Project Lead. And again, they have scholarships for it, so it's not like you're coming out of your pocket for the training. They also have webinars, and again, this is once you have paid your membership, they have webinars to where you could join in on the different webinars that they have throughout the year. Um, and then they have the team leader training. So the team leader training comes after you have finished the Public Policy Academy. So you do the Public Policy Academy for a year, and then after you do that, it makes you eligible to be a team leader for your state. So I did the public policy for a year, and then I applied to be a team leader for Illinois. And so this year was my first year being team lead for Illinois, and I was so excited um, to be the team lead for Illinois. So you get to um, have direct contact with your congressmen and women. You get to build relationships with them, and you're able to, get things done through them. So I was excited about that. So there are different things you could do. So again, you would go to the National Breast Cancer Coalition website, which is stopbreastcancer.org, and you would go to the Action Center and then click on Get Involved to Stop Breast Cancer. And then it shows you the many ways that you can, if you want to be an advocate and you want to take your advocacy to the next level, then you want to get involved in these things. And I would suggest, if you're going to start, the first thing would be to pay the $35 for the membership. And then I would say maybe do the project lead, because the project lead is really going to introduce you into what it is that the National Breast Cancer Coalition Foundation is. And they're all about research, and not just about collecting money for research, and you have no idea where that money is going. But with this organization, you're able to see exactly where that money is going with research. You get to see the grant applications, you get to read them and see what it is that these scientists are doing, and what clinical trials or research that's coming down the pipeline for individuals who are dealing with not just breast cancer. They have different, it's different. Some of them are different cancers, but the majority of us sit under the breast cancer peer review and go over those applications. So there's so many things that you can do to take your advocacy to the next level and to advocate with purpose. So you guys, I am excited that I was able to participate with the National Breast Cancer Coalition. And I also brought another young lady to Washington with me, so I didn't go by myself. So I'm hoping next year I could take some more women with me so that they can also take part in on letting their voice be heard, especially for those who are not able to, those who are dealing with metastatic breast cancer and they're not able to travel. They don't have the strength to go and to advocate because they're busy concentrating on trying to heal and wondering if they're going to make it to the next day. So I hope that you were able to learn some steps on advocating with purpose. And I would say don't go anywhere. Stay right here on Intellectual Radio, because coming up next at 7 p.m. is Pillow Talk with God, and you don't want to go anywhere. I will leave you with these words of wisdom. I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. And that is by Angela Davis. Join me next Monday right here at 6 p.m. on Intellectual Radio. As always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we are changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on IntellectualRadio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.